Boker Tov, everyone. We are the last three Pesukim of Perek Yud-Bet, B'ezrat Hashem, Pasuk Chavav. Yater Mere'ehu Tzadik. A Tzadik gives a friend direction. V'derech Reshaim Tat'em. And the ways of the Reshaim leads astray. So the Gomer Vilna over here says that a Tzadik, in general, hides his ways. He doesn't flaunt that he's a Tzadik, then it doesn't really look like you're a Tzadik. He hides his ways and he's bitsniut. But if a person wants to be like his friend who's a tzaddik, try to be, like he says the word here in the pasuk, yater. Yater comes from the word vayaturu eteretz Canaan, to spy. Try being like a little spy and follow his ways. If you follow the tzaddik's ways, you'll also be like a tzaddik. But the ways of the Rishaim are in public. You see the guy's a wicked guy, the way he swears, the way he talks, the way he acts, where he goes. He doesn't hide that he's a Rasha. And therefore, if you follow that way, you'll for sure be led astray, but stay away from it. And that's why it's in plural, v'derech reshaim in plural, because reshaim, we know their ways, it's in public. Lo yacharoch remiyah tzedo. Talking about the ramai, remiyah, the swindler, the rasha, the ramai, he never has meat to roast. He won't roast yachroch tzedo, what he captures. Vehon adam yakar charutz, and the wealth of man is very precious to him. So what's going on over here in this pasuk? So he says that the Gomer explains that if a person catches, let's say, a bird, but he doesn't tie the wings together, then the bird could fly away. And here he talks about actually when it comes to Torah learning, that person learns Torah. As we mentioned this a couple of days ago, there's a great value, of course, in learning Torah. Even if a person doesn't remember, there's still great value. Your neshama always remembers. But ideally, to try to remember, and that's with chazara. And therefore, when a person reviews what he has learned, it strengthens the learning that he's done. And therefore, the person that's the wealthy person is the person that he reviews, and now he has it in his hand, as opposed to the person that captured. You learned it once, but if you didn't review, you let it fly away. And the hon adam yakar charutz, the wealth of man, of the diligent man, it stays with him. So here he says that there is, when it comes to, let's say, selling items in business, there are certain items that are expensive, and you usually have less buyers because it's expensive. Or you have certain items that are very cheap, and you have a lot of buyers, but the item itself is cheap, and you're not going to make that much profit off of it. So he says that Torah and mitzvot is something that's expensive, and it's very, very sought after. And therefore, if a person has the Torah and mitzvot, you're that wealthy guy that has expensive goods and is selling it. And here he says the word hon, which means like a great amount of wealth. Hey vav nun. Hey is the chamisha chumshe Torah, the 5 books of the Torah. It's 5. Vav is Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, the 6 categories of Mishnah, which is referring to Shas. That's the Vav. And the Nun is the 50 Sha'arei Binah. And therefore, a person that's a proper hon, proper wealth, is the Torah, the Gemara, and accessing the 50 levels of Binah. The last pasuk of the Perek, Be'orach Tzedaka Chaim. In the ways of Tzedaka, there's life. V'derech netiva al mavet, and the way of this path, there's no death there. There's life on the way of tzedakah, and on this path, there's no death. And he says that we mentioned that the ways of tzedakah are hidden. Certainly, the ideal way of giving tzedakah is also in a hidden way. That not to embarrass the person and not to publicly here's tzedakah for you because you need it. No, that's not the way. It's supposed to be hidden ways. So the tzaddikim, they do things that are not going to embarrass. They do things in a hidden way, and they take care of the ani. And be'orach tzedakah chaim, just like you gave chaim, you gave life to this person that's poor, and it's a hidden way, but Hashem sees everything, and He's going to give you also chaim back for what you've given this poor person. And this way, you should be assured there's no death, meaning no bad will come out from giving tzedakah. If a person gives tzedakah, you find out later, the guy maybe didn't need, the guy didn't this, trick, chas v'shalom. You gave tzedakah, you did your mitzvah, only good's going to come from there, and there's not going to be mavet There's not going to be death that comes out from giving tzedakah, because we know tzedakah tatzil mimavet. This whole perek was contrasting the tzaddik and the rasha. Let's Bezrat Hashem be like the tzaddik, follow the tzaddik's ways, and that will also give a strong impression on us on becoming a tzaddik. Looking forward, Bezrat Hashem, for the next perek tomorrow. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Ve'amen. Rabbi Chananel ben Akash Amar Tzak Kadosh Baruch Hu Lezakot et Yisrael Leficha Chivra Le'om Torah Mitzvah Shene'emar Adonai Chafetz Man Tzidko Yagdil Torah ve'yadir.